Hello my friends, and welcome back to the Pencil YouTube channel, where today we're talking about one of Pencil's most exciting features, and that's feed generation. It's Pencil's way of creating creatives en masse, quickly and efficiently. The days of painstakingly creating ads one by one can now thankfully be a thing of the past. But before we get into today's lesson, I just want to touch on two things, and that is brand libraries. You know, that's your logos, your colors, your imagery, everything relating to you. And that's templates, the templates that you have created here in Pencil. Now, if it feels like I'm asking you to run before you can walk, please do not fret, my friend. If that's all alien to you, please do not worry. My good friend Tim has made videos on both of these subjects, fantastic videos, which you can see either linked down below in the description or linked to the end of this video. So if brand libraries or templates seem strange to you, please don't worry. Go and check them out and come back here. I'll see you in a second. Right, with that out of the way, let's get generating. Starting off on our Pencil dashboard, on the left-hand side, you can see Template Library. Hitting that, and now looking at all of our templates, we have the option up here in the top right of creating a new template. But today we're going to use a template we've already created. We're going to hover over these three dots, and we're going to click Use Template. On screen now, you can see a template for one of our in-house brands, cookie and pastry company, Dolce Ria. Up at the top, we're going to hit feeds, where it should say that you've got no feed available. That's all right. We're doing that today. We're going to click create. Now we have the option of importing either from another workspace or from a URL or from a document. But for the purposes of today, we're going to create from scratch. Users of Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets might find this a little bit familiar, and if you are used to cell referencing, that will definitely come in handy. But we're going to show you all today from start to finish. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this top row and we're going to put in the categories, I guess the headers, the titles of what kind of content that we're putting in. For a little bit of information, I would like to do a series of adverts saying Dolce Ria is available on a street near you, almost like they're a bunch of pop-up shops that are opening up, and that's what I want to advertise. So we are going to have headline, CTA, image, caption, you know, the caption for the social media post, and the street. What street is it going to be popping up on? One of the most exciting things about feeds is how malleable of a tool this is. You know, it's only really limited by how creative you are, the creative behind the pencil. So if that doesn't sound like an example that's super relevant to you, please don't worry. Your gears are going to start moving very shortly. First thing I'm going to do is head on over to street name and start putting in different streets that I distinctly want referenced in my headline copy. So you'll see these all shortly. Now this is where the fun begins. I'm going to head on over to our headline column, and I'm going to hit this little star icon here, this little generate with AI icon. And this is what I'm going to type in. Generate a headline for Dolce Ria announcing its arrival to the street listed in E2. And immediately now you can see cell E2 is highlighted. Maximum 60 characters, no emojis, British English. And I'm going to hit that little arrow. We're going to give it a moment to generate, but as you can see here now, it's given us our result. And how cool is that? It's pulled from our asset and brand library. It's followed our instructions. But you know what? If I'm feeling picky today and I don't like it, I can either manually edit it or I can hit retry to give me another one. We're going to retry that. And just like that, we've got our header. Now we could do this 5 times, but I told you feed generation is all about saving time. So if we go to the corner of this box, you'll see a little blue square. We're literally just going to drag it down to the bottom. And as it generates all these results, we're going to open this out. You can see it is referencing the streets that we've listed in our E column. It's paying attention across the board. But what if we don't want to generate with AI every single time? That's covered too. Over here in our CTA section, I'm going to write buy now as our first CTA. And that's a pretty straightforward, that's a pretty simple one. We're going to again hit that little blue button and we're going to drag it all the way down to the bottom. Now let's get a bit more exciting. If you remember from our template, we have this lovely cookie image that I have masked into a circle. I want to be able to replace that on every single one. I want to save myself all that extra time. So I'm going to click in the box of the image that I'd like to replace. Now I'm going to come over to our left-hand side, click assets. And essentially I'm just going to find images and just click 1, 2, 1, 2. And just like that, we're selecting images that will be beautifully swapped in. We'll see those shortly. Our last unfilled category is caption. So we're going to once again come over here and hit that little star to generate. And I'm writing, generate a caption for a Dolce Ria social media post. Make reference to its arrival listed in E2. 1 short paragraph. Include 2 emojis and 2 hashtags, British English. Once we have a result that we're happy with, we're once again going to hit that little blue square and drag it across the board. Now that we've filled in that spreadsheet faster than ever, it's important for us to identify which part of our template is the image, which part is the header or the CTA. So at the top of any of our columns here, you can see this little icon that says Map to Layer. Here in the mapping window, you'll see two boxes. The first will reflect all the columns that are in your spreadsheet. So you see those header titles that you put in earlier. The second box will reflect all the aspects, all the artifacts, all the elements that are within your template that you've already put in. And you'll notice they'll highlight when you've selected it in that box. All we're doing, just like when we were kids at nursery, is pointing to the triangle and putting it in the triangle hole. And this is especially helpful when you have a template that maybe has more than one image and you want to make sure that it identifies and replaces the correct one. As you can see here, these last two columns, caption and street, I'm not mapping to anything as they won't actually be physically on the template. Now, if you're ready to see your designs, on the right, we can hit Feed Settings, and now we're going to click Generate All. And just like that, you can see our designs being populated and created over here on the left. But I know what you're thinking. Hang on, what if I change my mind? What if I change something in this sheet? How will I get it to reflect? Well, let's take one of our CTAs, which currently says Buy Now, and let's change it to Try Now. And now you can see this little blue corner, this little icon here flags up that something's wrong. Well, we can look over here, you can see our magic wand, and we can now regenerate. Now, let's take a look at our designs. We'll go back up to the top where our feed icon is, and we're just going to toggle it to the other side. And just like that, we've created 5 adverts following our instructions and paying attention to our brand. And it's important to note, if you do have more changes to be made, it's never too late. Whether those changes are made back in the feeds function, as we've just demonstrated, or if you'd like to be a little bit more hands-on, you can still edit using these tabs and using some of these features here on screen as you would have back in the templates section. Just remember to hit save before we move on. In my eyes, these are good to go. So we're going to head up to the top right and we're going to hit export, and we have the option to either export these individually, export all of them at once, or publish them directly to social media. And that, my friends, is the amazing power of Pencil's feed generation. This is a tool that is truly only limited by your imagination and creativity, so feel free to play with language, background color, pack shots, flavor, feel, emotion, you name it, you can do it with feed generation. As always, my friends, please reach out to the Pencil team if you have any questions. Thank you for watching today's video, and take care.